Joining us now is Fleur Hassan Nahoum, Israel's Foreign Ministry Special Envoy, former Deputy Mayor of Jerusalem, and host of the Quad podcast. Thank you for being here, as always. We are seeing this conflict spill into civilian infrastructure, things like water facilities, energy sites. What are you seeing and hearing within Israel?
Well, in Israel, they've always targeted civilian targets. Just today, 2 people have been dead, 2 people were killed with a rocket strike last week. 9 people were killed, including 3 children. This is the modus operandi of the Islamic Republic of Iran. They don't go just for army bases or any type of military infrastructure. They go to hurt a population. They've done it in the UAE, they're doing it in Saudi, they've done it in Kuwait, they're doing it in Qatar, they're going for business, they're going for tourism places, for places where regular civilians are at. That's where they're going. And this is who this regime is. But what can you expect from them when they killed 30 to 50,000 of their own innocent people? They have no regard for life.
I'd like to ask you about the UAE, since you bring that up. They have gotten almost 10 times as many missiles as you all have received in Israel. What's their position at the moment?
Their position at the moment remains defensive. They've actually done a very good job in intercepting about 90% of everything coming in. I think that is something that they weren't expecting. I don't think any of these Gulf countries were expecting this lashing out by Iran, because what they've done is they've turned countries that were essentially neutral or didn't want to be involved. They've now brought them into this conflict on the side, of course, of us, of the good guys, of the US, of Israel, the people that don't want the proliferation of a weapon of mass destruction by people who are radical clerics. This is very, very dangerous, a weapon of mass destruction in the hands of an apocalyptic death cult leaders. And this is really why we're all in this. And now the Gulf countries have understood that they are under threat as well.
What more would Israel like to see from the UAE and other Arab nations in the region?
Look, at the moment, they're experiencing exactly what we've been experiencing for years, what the Americans have experienced for years. Remember that the Islamic Republic has killed over 1,000 American soldiers over the years. They've bombed ships, they've maimed soldiers. These are really bad actors. These are the Hitler of our era. In the 1930s, the world could have stopped Hitler and the Second World War could have been avoided. And we're in exactly the same position now. Thank God. President Trump and the American leadership and the Israeli leadership have decided to actually stop this main threat to humanity as we know it. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran. They are the source of all the poison, of all the terrorists, of all the terrorist infrastructure, not just in the region, in South America and around the world. They're already in Europe. They already have sleeper cells everywhere. And this is what we're trying to eliminate.
And Fleur, what are you hearing as we look at these live images of Beirut and smoke in the skies? It's a familiar scene for the last week, the fighting with Hezbollah.
Well, Hezbollah made a decision. They joined this conflict. They didn't have to. They were weakened from last year's conflict with Israel, but they joined in because, of course, the Islamic Republic are their paymasters. They've given them $30 billion. This is their main terrorist proxy, was Hezbollah. And so Hezbollah has to pay back. And they've been sending rockets. We have 500,000 Israelis under threat from these rockets up in the north. And this is the opportunity that we have also to get rid of a very poisonous regime in Lebanon, not just for the Israelis, but for the Lebanese people who've had enough of decades of living under this Islamic occupation of Hezbollah in Lebanon.
One thing we're not hearing a lot about is Gaza and Hamas. Any update on that front?
It's actually incredible, Marnie, because, normally when you have a conflict like this, you would have had rockets from Gaza. And I'm very pleased to say that it's been quiet on that front for the moment. Of course, we still have our soldiers in the military zone over there, and we have them watched. But at the end of the day, it just means that we've either degraded their capacity to throw rockets, or they're scared of opening another front with Israel, because, we are not going to be tolerating rockets being sent into our country on a daily basis anymore. We tolerated it for years, for decades, all of it sponsored by the Islamic Republic of Iran, all of the terrorism that was against different American bases around the world, that was in Venezuela, in lots of places in Latin America, that threatened America's borders. It's enough. This is the moment where we have to eliminate this threat.
All right, Fleur Hassan Nahoum, thank you as always for your time.